But here, on the very rim of known space, justice is a long way away.
Okay, I didn't do the countdown, so you guys did well by by anticipating. I didn't do the countdown. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Space Game Junkie Podcast. I, as always, am your co-host, Brian, and joining us, as always, is your co-host, Spaz.
Hello.
Your co-host, Julie.
Hello from the middle of the Middle West.
Your co-host, Thorsten.
Hi from Europe.
And your co-host, Jacob.
Kapla.
And Jacob, I was told I called you Shogun last week when I introduced you. I apologize for that.
Excited either way.
I'm so used to calling you that, so I apologize. Friends, welcome to the show. We have a guest this week joining us from Virginia. Well, coming back to the show, I believe for his second time, Bob Saunders, the developer of probably one of the best space gaming roguelikes you will ever find, Approaching Infinity. Welcome back, Bob.
Hey, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Oh, we're glad for you to be here too, because we love this game. One of I think once we brought Torsten on board as a co-host, I think one of his first requests was to ask you to come on the show. So it's like, all right, because it's been like,
well, Torsten, thank you very much.
It's been a year or so since we had you on last, and a lot has changed since then. So I said I was going to do this before the show started, but what for those who don't know, and I can't imagine there are many, but for those who don't know, could you recount the story of how this game not only came to be, but came to be from its basically, it's like almost exile really to Steam, because that's a great story.
All right. Well, first off, Torsten, I do look forward to hearing what it is you like so much about the game. I need that feedback. But anyway, so way back in about 2013, I started putting this roguelike together, and I've been working on roguelikes for something like 7 years, just kind of playing around. It was just a little prototype with the silly little 8-bit sprites, but it was really fun, and I showed it to other people, and they said it was really fun too. So I ended up doing a Kickstarter, and Jim Shepard, creator of Dungeon Mans, I got in touch with him, and he kind of sort of helped me with the Kickstarter process, talked me through some things, and ended up getting funded. It was a small goal, but I made it. It was kind of the impetus I needed, and having all those people behind me kind of kept me working. So I worked for a long, long time, and I started to think, like, what am I going to do with this game? You know, this is awesome, and people like it, but what am I going to do with it? So I tried to get on Steam, and back then, you had to go through something called Steam Greenlight, where people would vote on your game before it even became a thing. You know, like before you could even get on Steam, and it was like the curation process they didn't actually have to do any work, or at least very little work. They just kind of let everyone else do it. And if you weren't popular for whatever reason, especially if you didn't look good, then you didn't get through Greenlight. And so I spent a long time, working and trying to get through Greenlight, and it just never happened. And my artist friend, David Gervais, who does all the art still to this day, he said, "Well, I used to work with this company, and he told me about this publisher, and they had put out this game that I really loved." And I said, "Well, yeah, if I could get on that, if I get on that label or whatever, that would be awesome. I could be on there with Space Empires 4, one of my all-time favorite 4X games." And so, well, I guess I went through that whole process. Got in touch, and they liked the game, and it looked like it was going to be a really good deal. And I signed the exclusive distribution contract, and they put it up for a price that no one was willing to pay.
Yeah, $40.
And yeah, I spent at least a year, still just working and trying to convince people, trying to say hey, I didn't set the price, but look, if you're into this kind of game, you're definitely going to get your $40 worth. There is just endless content. Many people have hundreds of hours in this game, but very few people would bite, and people would attack me, and I'm just like, you know what, man, I didn't, I made the game, but I didn't set the price. I'm not selling it. So I ended up being stuck in that position for a very long time. And I tried making other games. I did. I had some success, but nothing that would feed the family. So, in 2019, I decided to just give up game development. I had actually tried to cancel that agreement several times, but it was always, I couldn't afford to cancel that publishing agreement. So in 2019, I just quit video game development. And right before the pandemic in 2020, before it hit the US bad, they got in touch with me, and we worked it out, and I got the game back under my control. And I was really excited, but I wasn't quite sure what was going to happen. So I tried to do a little updating, and finally I made it good enough that I could put it on Steam. And now you just pay the fee and you show up. And I got on Steam, and in my first 2 days on Steam, I made more than I did in 5 years with that publishing company.
Wow.
2 days is greater than 5 years. It was the name of one of my announcements back then. It was unbelievable. And within a week, I quit my job and dedicated myself to this full time. And so that's what I'm doing right now. I still have a couple more years of development to do, and I don't know what the heck I'm going to do when it's over. But right now, I'm kind of living my dream.
And no one is happier than us. Let me tell you.
Absolutely.
Were you gonna say something,
Yes.
Jacob?
Agreed.
No, I just said cool because that's good.
So, friends, we're actually playing the game live. Well, I am. Usually I record some footage of the game and have that just loop in the background. But Bob asked me and actually built a special build for me to play while we talk. So, for those of you listening on the audio version, you might do better watching the video, the YouTube or whatever. But just FYI, we're going to be actually playing this as we chat. So here we go. There. So are you guys seeing it? You guys see it okay? Is it working for you?
Yeah, I can see it now.
Great. Okay, so this game is a very deep game. Screenshots don't really do it justice because there's so much going on here. Just selecting the class and the skill to start with, because there are how many starting skills are there, Bob?
Well, I guess there's
That's 10.
eight or nine for each of the 10 classes. I
That's
can't
10
count.
by
1,
8,
2,
so that's
3.
80.
There you go.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
guess
there-
that's probably a little overwhelming. You know, if you're just starting out, you're like, oh my God, what do I even pick? You don't know. But
There are some here that I can see that are probably very handy, like pickups heal the away team. Harder
That's
to.
my
And
1%.
it's something. that is something. Folks, there are so many ways to start playing this game. Do you have a process to come up with all these classes and skills, Bob? Is it suggestions? Is it ideas? How do you pick all these? How do you come up with all these?
that's so funny because almost all the effects and skills, I mean, it's like I look at things that already exist in the game, different ways of or different like your sight range, for example. Your sight range is a number, and I say to myself, well, I guess I can make an officer skill that gives you a better sight range. +1 on that number. There's so much of it is it's just stupid little things like that. Like what can you do in the game, and how can you like choose something to make that better? Definitely, I listen to all the feedback from all the channels. Everybody tells me, well, why don't you do this? And sometimes I'm like, well, because of this, that, and the other thing. But other times I'm like, hey, that's a great idea. So there's definitely things in here that some of the people watching today probably came up with in the first place. And thank you for that.
Is there one that you prefer? Like when you start a game yourself, is there one that you particularly like to use?
I usually take like operative class, and so you're in a Pathfinder right now. That could be like mountain climber. That's a really good one. Oh, you already got that, yeah. That's a good one. Or else operative. There's one that, like I said, increases your sight range. There's one that increases the hit points and damage of the away team. I do spend a lot of time on away missions, so I tend to max out those things as early as possible.
So there is gameplay customization, though I do feel like there is a level of, because I feel like there is a level of some of these are just like stat upgrades, and some let you do things that you normally wouldn't be able to, like running repairs on shipwrecks.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
The observer ship that he's looking at right now. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's one spaceship that can see all the other spaceships on the screen at all times, like, and nothing else can do that. It has other negative effects on that ship, but yeah, there's different things you can do, and they're kind of unique.
And these ships aren't all unlocked when you first start playing it. You gave us, I believe, a code so we could see all the ships. But I believe you unlock these as you play.
Through various challenges / achievements.
Yeah, I'm going to go with this one.
Yep. You start with the first 4 ships up there, and then you can unlock all the other 16 by doing various things. I'm actually doing a video series where I'm trying to unlock the ships, like playing fairly. I almost never actually just play my game, so like doing things like that gets me to, not cheat.
Imagine playing games. I mean, it sounds like a good idea for, play testing and understanding whether or not a certain challenge isn't stupendously overturned.
Right.
Well, to be fair, there are some devs that are better at developing and coding their game rather than playing it, because players will actually customize the way they do that, and they'll specialize in how they play, and they'll come up with ways that the developer hasn't thought of yet. That's kind of how it works.
Yep, there's a whole feature in the game. It was based on one YouTuber who played my game in a way that I never considered. And I'm like, wow, dude, that's really impressive. I'm going to find a way to stop you. And I may have. But
what was the way he was playing?
Never considered. Well, like, he was just going around trying to kill all the alien ships. He said he never landed on a planet.
What?
And I'm like, how do you play this game without landing on a planet? That's where I spend all my time. And he's like, that's what I'm doing. I have not seen
What if I
anybody
don't
go down
want
to a
to?
planet. And he just goes around, blows up everything, picks up all the loot, and keeps going. And like,
I guess if that
yeah,
works
was
for
fun,
him.
though.
So I
It-
love
it
how
did.
all these ships are not only that like reskins, but they are all are very different. They have very different built-in devices. They have different away team stats. It's just
Yeah, well, this everything that you're seeing right here is all fairly new work. This was done in the last few months. The ships, they used to be a little more sort of bland and similar, but I spent a good chunk of time making sure, and I had some help from Clockinator and some other people in my Discord, and I think we got them pretty good.
yeah.
You can notice just looking at the screen that the further down you go, the less gray and blocky the ships become.
Yeah,
I suppose the first six are pretty much the same. That's sort of on purpose.
I'm gonna go with
Don't say
the
gray and blocky.
I'm gonna go with the observer here.
It can see things you people wouldn't believe.
That was a good choice.
Oh no! Oh no! It crashed! Oh no!
Oh, it was a good time. All right, everybody. See you next year.
A reminder, my friends. This game is actually in early access, so it is still being worked upon, as Bob said. That was funny.
Yeah, that happens.
Whoops.
I mean, admittedly,
It doesn't happen.
I can't
doesn't happen.
believe it.
something
The
to do
camera
with-
crashed.
It's your fault.
All right,
Yeah.
let's not select anything specific. I'm just gonna hit random a couple of times, and then we're gonna play. Let's see if it works. this
Oh,
time.
observer again. Let's go.
I just hit random, and come on. Oh, there we go. It works. Yay! Okay.
Right, so what I was gonna mention is the fact it's early access is I was gonna mention because I think I'm the only person here who has not like properly played it until I a couple days back. So my opinions on it are a bit both fresh and a bit more limited. And I think the reason why I didn't get it is because it does have the big early access banner, and as I've mentioned before, I don't buy early access games on the combination of principle and not wanting to deal with stuff like what just happened.
Yeah, but I feel the same way generally. But once I started to play this, I said early access seems done to me. But I'm kind of a neophyte where roguelike games are concerned.
It really doesn't do that. It does not crash as soon as you start the game. I mean, obviously it just did, but that's not common. But I think that if you don't buy early access games, I can understand that. An awful lot of people just kind of put something up there and then they abandon it. And you just said, well, this game seems kind of finished. You can currently win in 9 different ways. Like, it is absolutely finished as it is. But I have walls and books full of plans of how it's going to expand over the next couple of years. So
That's
Finished,
perfectly
not
fair.
finished.
And while
Sounds great.
I do understand there's room for nuance, I do have my principles, and my principles are I typically like gems like this are good, but when it comes to the early access tag, it's so much of a risk that I tend to limit myself unless I can basically get a guarantee of a playable game, which is difficult to get, especially since the actual amount of content and gameplay about like the reviews say this is good, but the reviews always say something is good. Unless something is irredeemably terrible.
See, what I'm glad to hear, if you say there's 9 different ways to win, I would be happy to hear if you say yes, but it's really hard to win, because that way the game just goes on forever. And I said, I'm good with that.
Alex?
I think the game can technically go on forever, I think, right?
absolutely, it's the second word in the name. Yep. Honestly.
Like, if
I
you
mean, if
ahead.
approaching infinity was not infinite, I'd call false advertising.
I love how you can pet the I do love how you can pet the bunnies. It's a fun little thing. and
Respectable.
those will
They
heal.
aren't killer bunnies yet.
Yeah, Bob, would you mind telling that story of why you can pet the bunnies? Because I remember the last time you were on, you talked about it, but I think
Oh yeah.
people might want to hear about that little detail.
I'm not familiar myself, so go ahead.
I don't know whether it's exciting or not, but I mean, my youngest daughter, she was like 4 at the time or something when I started this, and one day she came down and she sat on my lap and she said, "Daddy, I think there should be bunnies in the game." And I said, "All right, I'll talk to David." And then we got bunnies. And then, after a while, there's these monsters, in my game, and they're bunnies. And she's like, "Well, what do you do with the bunnies?" And I said, "Well, nothing. You could shoot them if you want." And she said, "You should be able to pet the bunnies." And so you can pet the bunnies and they heal you a little bit.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I agree with the assessment. I agree with your daughter absolutely, without a shred of doubt. Everything she suggested was a good idea and entirely correct to implement.
Yeah, your daughter your daughter should go into game design. I mean,
right now, I think she might be a writer. We'll see.
Though I do have to ask: is there a rabbit of Cabernog somewhere in there?
There are.
How funny!
Good.
Yes.
There absolutely are.
And there's only one way to kill it.
With a hand grenade?
Oh God!
Well, my violence, but
yes,
but
yes, with a
I've
grenade.
noticed that now it's easy to tell which ones are the friendly bunnies and the not so friendly bunnies. The not so friendly bunnies have a reversed. They have a reverse
They're
look
facing the other direction,
and and they also have a red outline as well.
And
Do they have
big
fangs?
gnarly teeth. All right, so that's the one Monty Python joke for the podcast. That's Ding.
Oh, you could do more.
We're about halfway.
You can easily
through
do more.
No, I know, but I'm saying we're about halfway through to bingo. I think at this point.
Fair.
There's some hostile stuff on this planet. Oh no! A
little forest for bloody starters.
So.
Oh boy. Yeah, we're leaving.
Running away is a perfectly valid strategy. I use it all the time.
Racer Brian ran away.
Right. I mean, do you see all these gnashers that I'm dealing with right here?
Yes.
And they're all annoyed. They're all every one of them is annoyed. And I'm trying to get back to the ship. Okay, we only lost one crew member. Dear Lord. That's good.
That's pretty good so far.
Yes, bravely ran away. Yes, Jake, thank you.
You could have been killed.
Yeah, I'd like to think that I made a very well thought out tactical retreat right there.
Also, you just needed to advance in the other direction and get to the shuttle. That's all.
Also, I just wanted to remind you, Brian, Control D, you have an escape teleporter for this exact situation on this ship.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, you got the observer. That's right.
Did you not read the tilted, Brian?
I do, but I'm gonna clue you in on one of my biggest gaming weaknesses.
You can't read.
I forget about the tools I have at my disposal all the time.
As a great example, Molotov cocktails
or grenades. Yes,
yeah.
Or anything like that. I always forget the tools available at my disposal. I'm always like shooty, killy. What's in front of me?
Which is why I usually have to be the one to remind him. Yeah.
So it's not that I didn't read that. I probably did read it. I might have forgotten. It's very likely I forgot. But I also very likely just forgot that I have a tool at my disposal that I can do that sort of thing. So yeah.
Now it's everyone's responsibility to remind him and save his life next time.
We still have to explore more of that planet. Okay, there are a lot of Nashers on that planet.
It's a grenade, dude.
I don't think do I have a grenade? No, I don't have a grenade.
Oh, there was one for sale.
Yeah,
Oh.
the station.
Um. Is there? See a torpedo.
There was.
Oh.
It changed.
Oh. Oh. Oh well. Wait, restock with new items. Hang on. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna pay. I'm not gonna pay to restock again. No, I am gonna pay to restock again. One more time. Still no grenade. Oh well.
You could try elsewhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back to that planet. Let's see what else is in this sector. Oh, what is that? Really hostile. Oh, good. It didn't shoot me. Okay. Oh, a banker interceptor. Oh no.
Talk to him.
I can talk to him.
Press H to hail.
Yeah, you can.
That didn't used to be a thing, but it is now. Oh, that's a scan of planet.
Yeah, there's an alien signal on this one. So. Oh. No. Oh, come on. I don't want to mess with snakes. They're poison. How many?
Yeah, most snakes are.
Yeah, how many different like aliens or monsters are there in this game?
Well, monsters, there's about maybe 100 like split between space and planets and other places, like about 150 different kind of living things that might want to try to kill you. But some of those are just like alien spaceships, and often you can like try to be friendly with them. Look like you can get that thing yet.
Yeah, I need something to go on water. Uh-oh. The ground is flammable, apparently. Okay. All right.
Well, you got a laser gun. That's a feature, not a bug, man. It's supposed to burn.
All right, let's they shoot at me? I don't think they did. Are they gonna
No,
shoot?
you have the red
hostile, so
alert if
not
they
yet.
shot at you.
Okay, it doesn't look like they doesn't. Yeah, they did not shoot at me. Oh, there's another planet. Okay. Oh, giant snails and cyclopeans. Oh, that sounds fun.
Keep away from the snakes.
Oh, a snake! Oh, it's a snake. A ground cricket. All right, we're not going to bother that. Ooh, caves. No, craters. Funny. Oh no! Oh no! What's that? It's a giant. It's a giant hulking beast. Oh no. Okay.
Run.
Basically, run.
Yeah, I'm gonna run.
Well, he might not be mad at you yet.
Yeah,
He
I'm
might just be minding his own business.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and stay away. I'm not gonna try and bother these things. Oh man, come on! I did not want to bother you. What is that? Ooh, stuff! Yay, stuff! That's what I came down here for. Stuff. Oh, lit a fire
That slime
again.
will dissipate in a few turns, so you don't necessarily have to run over it.
The what?
The green slime will dissipate naturally. Just don't run over it, because it'll get you stuck.
And if that tooltip is driving you insane, you can turn it off in any number of ways, like click your middle mouse button, and you could just use the shift button to get tooltips when you want them.
I actually love the tooltips. I am a
Okay.
Because
big.
user accessibility is good.
I'm a big fan of tooltips. I think any modern game needs good tooltips. And
You know why tooltips are important? Because of neophytes like me who don't know a lot about roguelikes, who look at it and say,
I mean,
what now?
That's part of the reason, but they're good in general, so people know what they're looking at. Like, honestly, roguelikes are 10 times more accessible when you have tooltips, because one of the big challenges of them is, what the devil am I looking at?
Yeah, what's a D in this game? Is it a dog? Is it a dragon? You don't necessarily know. So.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Well, that's dead away, team.
Oh, yeah, I think so. Good while it lasted.
Yeah, totally dead away, Tim. And they're not. It's not just that top level of planets. Planets can get deeper, right, with caves and whatnot, right?
Yeah. Sometimes it's just like one level, and sometimes it can go like 20 or 50. Yeah.
Dear Lord.
And coming up, and I mean, you don't have to do that. You can get there and say, well, I can't do this right now, and you can go somewhere else. There's an infinite universe to explore, but if you want to, like, this game kind of drives completionist crazy, because you just can't finish everything. People try.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a lot of cool stuff in here.
There's tons of stuff in here, and planets have multiple levels, and there's just and it's just, you can play it forever. You really could, which is again in the name. But when people talk to me about this game, and I'm like, it's amazing, and they're like, it doesn't look amazing. I'm like, just don't worry about the screenshots. Just play the game, because there's just a million things going on. And the game has great art. Like, it has a great look to it. It really does.
It's just not 3D with dynamic lighting and
it's
whatever all the other
like
the things are.
It
takes place in your mind.
If someone held a gun to my head and say, you have to play either No Man's Sky or this, I mean, for me, it'd be this, because I think this is the better game.
I feel like this isn't massive praise, but that's just me.
I think it's no, I don't think that's a fair comparison, because they're really different games.
What would you say is a fair comparison? What would you say is a fair comparison, then?
That's a tough call, though.
I know, right?
It would have to be another roguelike, though. You can't really compare this to No Man's Sky.
That's true.
Different genres.
I just think
about Cosmonautica?
Yeah, Cosmonautica is a good one. Prospector RL. Get out of here, Luke.
That brings up a point is, I am one who really enjoys the 3D games. Hop in the cockpit, or the ship is 3D, but that can be very tense sometimes. And first, because of that, I want to thank you for putting in the button that says turn off permadeath. I saw this and I said, oh, thank God. And that's the first button I hit, literally. And also, I have had like the last 2 days from hell. So the last thing when I first turned on this game I wanted was stress. And as I started to play it, all the stress just kind of went away. And I said, I don't care about the 3D. I just care about the gameplay.
And there is a lot of it here.
There's a ton of it here.
Whereas I was the opposite, who saw permadeath and went, lovely, my type of game. I feel like paradoxically, I'm one of the few people that's played maybe not the most roguelikes out of everyone here. Well, I'm not guessing based on the host, obviously, but I have played a mountain of stuff, from stuff like Tales of Magial through NetHack, Caves of Cod. A lot of the newer stuff I played. There's like 2 mecha roguelikes that I don't remember the name of. They were kind of mediocre. I played a lot of obscure stuff when it comes to roguelikes. So I am familiar with the genre, and I do like this. I don't want to start the "is this a roguelike" conversation, because I do believe it is. Fundamentally, it matches the control scheme, and it matches the progression system, and it matches the permadeath It's basically as good, like it's basically as close to a roguelike as you can tell while still calling something a roguelike. And I do like the way it's done. It's got a variety and massive gameplay variety. Most importantly, you can do a lot of stuff in it. It's got good progression. It's got a variety in ships and starting setups, meaning you can do a lot. The one slight issue I have is the progression within the actual game, like getting better stuff as you're going along. Feels a bit limited, though I have not played the game enough to make concrete assumptions yet, or concrete criticisms, sorry.
Oh, you should get beyond sectors 20 or something.
I don't think I've gotten to double-digit sectors yet, but that'll be a bit.
Yeah,
I tend to take my time with this one.
As a neophyte roguelike player, thank God first for Spaz, because who helped me along the way as I was learning the game. But it would have been nice if something had said, "No, fool, don't play it like the person the dev said was trying to play it as on YouTube," because the first thing I went out to do rather than land on planets is try to blow everything up, and I found my lifespan started to be measured in seconds rather than minutes. And that's when I said, maybe I should land on a planet. Maybe I should start training some things. And, rather than the game just saying, game spank, learn how to play it.
Yeah, this
Hey man, can I ask what you're trying to accomplish on this planet?
I'm just trying to well, one, I want to get all the stuff, and two, I want to get it to 100% explored.
Okay.
Oh.
Because I was really hoping that we could go on to like sector 2 or 3 and check out some shipwrecks.
Oh,
because
yeah,
I've done a lot of work there. And
okay, I can do that.
And this planet, it just seems to be like eating your crew alive.
It really is. It really is.
And I hate to see you suffer like that.
Okay, yeah, no, sure.
But I also guess that life is unheard of. Life is cheap. Life is cheap in this universe. So if you want to keep just killing your crew, you totally can.
No. We'll go to the next.
When I heard what you were going to do with shipwrecks from Brian, I said, "Wow, that's cool."
Which sector would you like me to go to?
Oh, just 2 or 3, so you don't get too far out.
Too ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. Because it definitely gets harder. It gets harder the further you go.
Right. Let's try and find. Oh, Hulk. There we go. This is what we're talking about, right? Hulk of.
So, Dave, you've actually gotten that message before? Yes, go there. Go there.
You like to lead the away team? Yes, I would like to lead the away team. All right, so
of course, if you die, well,
that's fine.
If you die while you're on the away team, it's run over.
That's fine. So, stuff, more stuff. Yay, love stuff.
Boxes
inside.
Dead Syndicate member. That's great. Good times. And we got metallic debris over here, and security field. Oh boy. Okay.
If you find the switch, don't hit it yet. Explore everywhere else, then hit the switch.
Okay.
You've definitely played this game.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right.
I've got about 63 hours, 64, around there.
Just on the Steam version.
Yeah, just on the Steam version. I have probably double that from the previous publisher's version.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I've gone everywhere that doesn't have the security field. I think.
There's a door to the northwest of you.
There's a bunch of doors.
Oh.
Yeah, there are a bunch of doors you haven't gone through yet.
Oh, right.
Oh, and there's a upper deck or lower deck. I can't quite tell.
That is, yeah. There's an elevator there.
Hey, do you guys see the most important device in the universe?
What's that? What? Where? What? Ooh. Most important device in the universe.
All right.
Oh, that looks like a panel of some type. Is that a oven?
I don't know why the
God.
poetry is right next to the bridge, but or is that not the bridge? I don't know.
Oh, the bridge crew has to eat.
The rooms right now are just totally randomized, and you're running out of oxygen. They're like
sorted that out.
there's going to be
Zombies.
Oh God,
there's going to be
zombies.
different kinds of ships that
Oh, God,
are
zombies.
geared towards one purpose or another, so they'll be sort of in order.
What is this thing? Is this like a warp core? What is that? What is?
So you can get the tooltip on the right side. If you hover over it, it'll actually tell you what it is.
The ship floor, that doesn't tell us much.
Well,
Yeah,
it
for
depends
some
on what's
reason-
being hovered over.
For some reason, it's not showing up. I can see it's not showing tooltips on the special machines. The blue one is the life support. There's a whole bunch of stuff that for some reason it's not showing right
Yeah,
now.
it's saying ship
I
floor.
guess
It is
that's
supposed to be
something.
showing.
That is something to get sorted out by the time this thing releases to the public.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There's another bug to play with.
Okay.
This is a beta build we're looking at.
Yeah, exactly. This is again early access build. All right.
But like early as it, not
No,
early access,
no, this
regular
is
early
something
access.
this is something that I put together very specifically for this podcast. I haven't made a public release in a long time. This is a first look, and all the stuff he's tooltipping that isn't showing up is new stuff. So I don't know.
Something went wrong there.
Check
That's
check
what we're
check
getting
my
at.
history. Check my history. If you doubt the how seriously I treat bugs in my public releases.
Oh, I believe it.
I mean, I do believe it.
I've got to mention here something. I remember one time I encountered a bug in another beta build, and I stopped the game and went to Discord and reported it to you. And when I went back, already Steam showed me a new download and patching the thing up. That was great. That was really great. I never experienced something like that fast. Never before.
Yeah, in
Thank you.
admin chat, Spaz said that you hold the record for how fast bugs get fixed.
Okay.
That is
I'm
impressive
certainly up
work.
there.
That was
I'm up
Person
there.
who said that, actually, not me.
I'm sorry. I'll pay more attention next time.
Oh, it's fine.
So where's the panel for
But it
this?
still holds.
Where's the panel for this security field?
That once again, that may not have spawned because I made the force field, and
The red switch is.
I think I made them yesterday.
the red
But
switch
I
is at
bet
the very top.
if you leave the shipwreck, I bet if you leave the shipwreck, it'll spawn. If there, oh, I do see it. It is.
no,
at
it's
the
there.
top.
It's
Yeah.
it's at the top of the ship center.
Yeah.
The little gray box with a little red nub on top of it.
I think we
Yeah, right
found
where it
it.
says ship floor. Yeah.
All right.
Did it do anything?
Yeah, that cleared it.
Oh.
That
Oh,
cleared it.
God,
You just have to
zombies.
go over and then clear the fog of war.
Yeah, that's like your memory. You remember it being there. It doesn't update in real time because that would give you information you can't really have.
And there's now a mountain of zombies.
Lots of zombies, but I killed them. So now there's
Money.
money. Ooh, money. I like money. Everyone likes money. Ooh. And I
It's a
think
little thing, Brian, but I don't know if you noticed it. If you happen to kill a zombie with a fire attack and they happen to be on top of a thing you can loot, it might actually burn it into ashes.
oh no. That's what this
Oof.
so I think
Yeah,
that's
all
what
that
happened.
all
here.
that furniture is destructible too. You can go around blowing up the beds and
Really?
everything else. You can blow it up. Yeah, that's ash.
Side note from me, I once looted a temple and ran across a lot of monks and thought, okay, it would be a good idea to use a grenade to to kill them. Well, I destroyed the Firex.
You destroyed the artifact.
Wasn't that great?
Oh no.
Oh no! And then the temple started to shake, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't like that.
All right, yeah. I imagine ancient temples don't like when critical artifacts that may or may not contain ancient beings from beyond the veil lose said artifact.
Ooh,
There's a pirate station here too.
I saw that, and I can hire a tactical officer.
For 11 grand.
Good, do it.
What else you doing with your money?
Gives him more power to shields, which is sounds good.
Just make sure to set them to go with the away team, because when you hire someone, they don't automatically have that toggled.
I don't even know how to do
Or
that.
don't, because alternatively, you don't want the guy whose ability is to make his ship better to die horribly on planet side.
That's true, but they do gain with a tactical officer, they do gain experience for killing stuff while on planets. So if they're on the away team, they'll get experience that way.
Also, hello, pirates.
You know, one thing that I wanted to say when you were in that little room there in a station is there are so many different like races here, and one thing that I got used to, because I'm, like I said, I'm new to roguelikes, that I really enjoyed in Cosmonautica is if you've had all these different races developed, it was nice, like in Cosmonautica, to see, like, have, even if it's just a 2D picture, to see the alien races and all the work that you put into the lore in the game.
Yeah, there are a lot of races in this game.
There's something coming.
What? We found a cybernetic skill module. Ooh, and
someone is due for a promotion.
Due for a promotion. Even do that.
Quest succeed. Success. You found
found snakes. Oh, snake. Oh, a snake.
Run.
And you know, one thing that I was looking at your website about approaching infinity, and I said, this is an accomplishment. It said how I created 12 alien languages for approaching infinity. And I said, holy smokes. I met the guy I went to develop Klingon, you know, briefly, but you know, I said 12 alien languages, that's an accomplishment. You haven't even touched on that.
Yeah, I mean, when you hail the alien races in space, it'll show you, they'll talk in their own language. But yeah, I spent some time on that, researching how people do that, like how they created a language in that movie, Avatar. They paid a guy a huge amount of money to come up with an alien language. I found something that worked for me, and I think it works pretty well. I mean, all their languages sort of fit the races, and they have different character to them. So I'm pretty happy with the results I got.
There is also, I know, the pirate language, which is notorious, which is interesting. I'm pretty sure it's a dialect of RNG. Sounds a bit Dutch, actually.
It's a bunch of R and Yar and Ahoy matey broken up and rearranged. It's all those pirate cliches.
So I guess that's more Danish, actually. Then
we found something.
Take your word for it.
Tentaculon skin byproducts. Oh, right. Okay.
Interesting. I have no idea what any of this means.
Or if this is helpful in the slightest.
A lot of the things that you'll find that are like that, they are actually they don't do anything. You know, they're just sort of there to talk about the universe a little bit, sort of lore, but you can't act on most of them. One of the things I'm going to do with shipwrecks is, and then beyond, is to make those things more relevant, to generate them with the area that's generated or related to a quest you're already working on, things like that. So they will become more relevant.
I feel like I would recommend, at the very least, at the bare minimum, of doing the Deus Ex thing, where you have a code and a keypad, and the code is on a note hidden somewhere on the ship. Why? Because that encourages you to actually bother.
Yeah, totally. I read some stuff about from like the developers of Caves of Cud and how they do that, how they work useful clues into their generated text. They're real famous for that. All their
Yeah, I'm
Markov
familiar
chains.
with that. It's a lot of interesting content.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do mine differently, but it's cool stuff. I always like to. Well, I read just about anything I can about whatever I'm working on right then. But
Well, we have a grenade now.
hey, all right, let's go blow some things up.
I have a grenade now.
Just know that you only have limited ammo for it. You only
Yeah.
have 3 tosses. And there are ways to get them back. But yeah. Sometimes you just have to stow it and then buy another one.
Talking about influences, what did influence you for the game? I mean, I see a lot. I see Babylon 5, I see Firefly sometimes. Star Trek, of course, but there's a lot of other things.
Yeah, it's a lifetime of space-related science fiction. Star Trek, pretty much throughout my whole life. Like a lot of folks are feeling, and yes, you mentioned Babylon 5. I love Babylon 5. I think that it's easy to, I don't know, it's easy to see some things that aren't great about that show, but just the overarching story for such a long time is amazing. And but anyway, and then there's, it was coming out of Borderlands 2 that really got me to start writing this game. Because I had just played that for like the millionth time, leveled my character to level 50, and I said to myself, man, I just want to keep going. I just want to get more stuff. I want to get that next good shield, that next awesome gun, and like their upgrades just stopped coming so quickly. And I thought, well, I want to make a game where you just keep going forever. And I've always liked space and science fiction, and someone in one of the chats there mentioned Prospector roguelike before, and that was really the first space roguelike that I had ever seen, and I played it, and I died in 5 minutes, and I wasn't sure why, and I played again, and I died again, and I had no idea what was going on. But back then I actually talked to the creator. I talked to Matthias, or I forget the name he goes by online, but we talked about these kind of things right before I did my Kickstarter, and he was just like, yeah, man, go ahead, just go for it. But there's so much science fiction in my life, and roguelikes. I started working on roguelikes in about 2006, so there was an awful lot of that. And I like Brogue or B-Rogue, or however you say it, has a lot of really interesting map generation. I'm really interested in making different kind of maps, and my maps are very small, but I think they generally kind of look, or like you can see planets and spaceships and whatever in those little squares. So it's just so many different influences, and honestly, I feel like I can just pretty much do whatever I want in my little universe. So every time I come up with a cool little idea or someone gives me an idea, I write it down and I say I'm going to get to that.
On a related issue, one of the things I've seen, and not from some of the devs I know, and that's especially when you get some of the fans are hostile and they say, well, I'd like to see you do better. And this is one of the things I like about indie developers is they say, okay, and I will. And I wonder sometimes when I talk to an indie developer is, not just why roguelikes, but I mean, do you one day just wake up and say, I know video games? I mean, what kind of made you want to? No one wakes up in the morning and says, let's see, NBA or video games. I'm just kind of, what made you start down that path?
Well, I mean, I was interested in video games from a very, very young age, and I'm not tall enough to do the basketball thing. I'm not short, but I can't really jump. But I mean, man, that's kind of a crazy story because I was doing a little bit of programming when I was a kid, just kind of messing around with it. And then I stopped and I got into music for a long time. I was a musician and I played a lot of shows, but I was always with like some people who weren't very dedicated. And so then I went solo and started doing all these electronic things because at least I could do it myself, and I didn't have to worry about is someone else going to not show up that day or whatever. And then, that really, I sort of lost interest in that too. And I got back into programming and video games and I discovered that I could actually do a lot of this stuff myself. And I really like to just get an idea and see if I can make it work. And I just kept doing that over and over again and saying, I can do this, I can do that. And I like to figure out how to do it. And I could do it myself. But I do find that I cannot do art. And David, thank you so much for being there. Because he does a great job with the art and I can just tackle all these little gameplay issues. But I mean, it's a lifelong process for me. How did I get here? I just kept doing it. I think you'd probably talk to an awful lot of people, artists and things that just say, I just kept doing it. How did you learn to I can't believe you can draw so well. They just kept doing it, It sounds simple or stupid, but I don't know, you do it, you keep getting better.
But there's two things here that when I found out about him, the first thought that came to my mind was, wow, respect. And the fact first is that you're doing this for a living, man. Wow. And the other is that the difficult thing I found is, one day I said, I got to find something to do when I retire. And I've been taking writing lessons and found out just how difficult it is to kind of create your own little world, your own little universe. And you've got it here, and that's the other thing with it. Wow. Respect.
Well, thank you.
It's an amazing thing you're building. No question. No question. It is an amazing thing you're building. And the fact that it's completely turn-based and you can just quit whenever you want and it saves your game. You can play for 5 minutes or 5 hours. And it's just such a great thing. And I love these new shipwrecks.
Hey, it's so interesting. People tell me this game is like, I mean, you said it today. It's calming or laid back, and I never really set out to make a laid back game, but people seem to like that. And I mean, I don't know. I don't want you to die, but I'm really glad that people can find things in it that I don't even really that I didn't set out to do. So I don't know. It's pretty cool, though.
It is a bit of a Zen game in that you can take it at your own pace.
Yeah.
And it will kill you. It will kill you if you've overstepped where you should be. But it's fair.
Yeah, I definitely strive to be fair. I don't like one hit kills or deaths because I don't know, went to the wrong, or you walked through a door. But you still can sometimes die like that. But especially with the cybernetic skills and stuff, you can usually save yourself. I try to be fair.
Well,
Yeah,
you
like
know,
I just wanted to say real quick that I've died a lot in this game, and it's never felt like really unfair.
Yes, that what was I about to say. It never feels unfair, and I never felt angry at the game if I died. It was always my fault. I could understand why I did die actually, and that's a difference to many other games.
well,
Throw things at you and you die and you don't know why. And you do it 20 times and still don't know why you died.
Well, one of the reasons why I didn't mind dying is because I started to play the game and I said I was attacking things with an explorer ship until finally like slapped my forehead and said maybe I should play the military ship. And so it's kind of it's the game's way of saying, fool, here's how to play the game. But the other thing I wanted to say is, the job for me that pays the bills is, I have clients calling me and saying, if I don't get this today, the world as we know it will cease to exist. And it's a very high stress job. And when I come upon a game, it's like, man, just chill, man, just play cool. And I said, wow, all right, that's the game for me.
All right. Well, I think that one of the things about this game that probably kind of lends itself to what you're saying there is the small map size. People will say, whoa, that's a really small map. But when you actually play it, it's like you can do the whole thing in just a couple of minutes. And you can have those little moments of stress and combat and how am I going to deal with this? But then either you deal with it or you die and it's over. And then you can move on to the next thing. There's a lot of like phase changes. There's a lot of different areas and kinds of interactions you can do. And I mean, there's so much of the game we haven't touched on in this hour, but
if there's one, what would you like to touch on? Is there something you would like to touch on? We're not tired of talking.
Can we phrase it differently? I don't know. There's a crafting. There's a crafting system. There's like trading you can do between space stations. There's just so many different things, but not specifically. I'm not saying that you're like ignoring some great thing. I know.
There's a lot of stuff in this game.
A lot of stuff.
There is indeed.
When you talk about the map, it makes me think of Starflight because I see a Starflight in a lot of this game's DNA, which is a compliment. And
definitely a thing. Thank you.
And one of the things that took so long in that game is planet exploration because the maps are massive and you can't just land one place and then go throughout the entire planet. If you want to do the entire planet, you got to land like 20 times. So it's like you've distilled the experience down to a bite-sized morsel. Basically, where you can like do most of a planet in 5 minutes or whatever, and it works. It really, really, really works like super well.
One of the things you just mentioned, and that's something I didn't even know was in the game because we were in admin chat and I said, it would be really nice if there were trading in the game, and Span says, yeah, there is,
Oh, yeah.
And so I want maybe you can touch on that.
It's cool because every once in a while someone will suggest something to me, whether it's a interface feature or just a gameplay mechanic, and I say, well, yeah, it's in there. It's already in there. And not all the time, but it feels good to me, when somebody says, well, why don't we have trading in the game? I'll say, well, did you ever try to buy anything at one place and sell it in another place? Because there's price differences. There's economic events. There's a couple of ships that are basically dedicated to trading. They're fast and not very good in combat. They have small away teams, but they have big cargo holds. and you can go and look for low prices and buy stuff in one sector of space, sell it in another sector, hopefully for a profit. There's devices that can let you see prices in faraway places before you've even been there. It's I just took every part of every space game that, well, I mean, within reason, that I thought was cool, and I said, okay, let's put that in there, and turned it into this huge interconnected thing. And you can't mine asteroids in this ship. He just flew over an asteroid, but asteroid mining, that's what David, the artist, he loves that aspect of the game. You can play an asteroid miner, and you can level that up and just live in space and get all that ore and then higher grade stuff and sell it. See, yeah, he does.
I think I'm going to do that.
There's a lot of stuff.
I should mention, even if you don't have the ability to mine immediately, you can either get officers that let you do that, or devices you can equip on your ship that allow you to do mining and make that more efficient.
Oh yeah, and that's true of almost every obstacle in the game. Is there's a way to overcome it. Eventually, you can walk over mountains and you can walk over lava. Yeah, I mean, we haven't even talked about temples with the artifacts that give you powers that are just always on. And if you can properly identify what they're doing for you, they get more powerful. There's a lot to explore.
See, one of my favorite aspects of EVE Online back when I played it wasn't the combat, it was the trade and especially the mining. And when I go to other games like Star Trek Online, it's like, no, there's no ship mining, and no, there isn't really any trading. And then when I found out this morning there is, I said, I'm going to go back, start over, trade in the military stuff, and that's what I'm going to go for. And I said, wow, kudos, trading and mining. All right, that's hard to find.
And then
let me know what you think of it.
Yeah, but then you remember EVE Online exists and realize, no.
I love we were talking about the pirate language earlier. Here's an example of it.
That is that's pirate.
It's pretty jaunty. It's pretty jaunty.
Love the phrase pigeon language.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, they shouldn't have shot at me so many times.
Yeah, see, I can mine in this game, and other players aren't going to try and blow me out of space for doing it.
Yeah,
yeah, that's also a good part of it.
I mean, the AI might, but yeah, the
AI is at slight disadvantage, obviously.
Yeah, I am probably going to do more mining in the game as well, because mining is one of my favorite things in any space game. Any space game. Like, I think that's
it's so hard to find a game where you can, in the space games.
Yeah, I mean, like Elite lets you do it, but
you point a laser at a thing and go pew.
Well, that's what I love about Jumpgate. That's what I love about Jumpgate. It's basically you point a laser at it and you hoover it up.
Spaceborne does it well.
Oh, that's
Spaceborne
right.
mining is very fun.
Forgot about Spaceborne's mining. I forgot about that. Point. That's a great game also.
It is a very good game.
So does anyone have any other questions? Should we start wrapping this thing up?
Yes. It's a negative thing first.
Okay, go for it.
Yesterday's stream, someone came up and criticized a bit the interface, the whole UI, and he said that it isn't very well designed. My opinion is to the contrary, to be honest, because I like the interface really, really, really much. It's easy to get around, and I just wanted to bring this up. Just to it's that, and as I said, I like the interface very much, and it's easy to use for me. So no criticism from my side. There was another thing. Damn, I forgot. Okay.
Well, about the interface, I mean, it depends on what kind of game you come from. You know, if you're paying $50 for a AAA game on the Xbox, you know, you're gonna expect a different level of interface, and you're not gonna understand this kind of 2D thing anyway. And I don't know the situation that you're talking about, but I do know that there's people out there that say they don't like the interface, and there's people out there that come from the roguelike background and say, "Oh my God, your interface is amazing! I can do so much with it." So you know, it depends on who you are and where you're coming from. So I mean, I very much prefer to make it as like user friendly as possible. But I would also 100 times over rather like add a new fun gameplay feature than mess with like buttons on the screen and figure out, you know, should they be 2 pixels to the left, or do I need to redesign this whole thing? And, you know, like I don't like that kind of work, but I will do it because it's important.
As I said, in my opinion, this UI is perfect. For me, it's perfect. I can't think of any better in that regard right now. I just wanted to bring that up.
That's really awesome. Thank you.
See, I would like to first emphasize something that Torsten just said. And here's because I am like extremely limited experience in roguelikes, just the 2 games I mentioned. And I had 0 problems with the interface here. The only thing I would say I wish there was is for people like me, and this is just because I have limited experience in roguelikes, is there are some people like me who need to be held by the hand a little bit more, that when it logged on, I say, oh my gosh. And I guess what I'm looking for is the equivalent of a spaz that can say, calm down, Julie, here's what you do. And not everybody has the benefit of having a spaz. And the other thing that I like, and this, I guess this is a comment for your artist, is when somebody puts all this wonderful work into a little universe, and I say, I want to know what the pirate looks like. I want to know what the banker looks like, you know? And it's like, wow, this is cool. Even if the pirate doesn't move, even if the banker doesn't move, I just that's just me though, you know? But yeah, I just need somebody, I guess, with my limited experience in roguelikes, is somebody like Spaz to say, here's what you do. Calm down, Julie.
Julie, actually, it is in the game already.
See, there you go. Okay, well, I take it all back.
Yeah. And honestly, I haven't revealed it yet, but more is coming in the way of like you get to see these aliens' faces.
Ooh.
Cool.
It is coming.
Oh, there you go. Mystery, and that keeps me coming back to play the game.
And here's a cave. If any of y'all haven't seen a cave, you can actually go down into caves. And that thing is not dying. I'm gonna run away. Oh, I killed it. Okay, good. You gotta have oxygen. If you don't have oxygen, you can't really stick around in a cave too long. Unless it's a planet where you don't need to worry about oxygen, which is pretty rare.
Well, there's also there is an item you can pick up that if there's enough oxygen already on the planet, it'll act as a biofilter and you won't have to worry about diseases.
Oh, that's nice.
And that's great for cave delving.
For sure.
Hire another officer here. Yeah, the more you go, the more intricate this gets, with hiring officers, getting better equipment, accepting quests. Yeah, this is a really, folks, if you haven't played this is a great game. And how much is it going for on Steam right now? Remind me?
$12.99.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, people are, that's a steal. Y'all, it's like you can play this game for dozens, hundreds of hours for $13.
How much of a difference $8 makes?
Now, I should also mention some of the devs from our Discord, including Bob, have joined up for the Independent Space Alliance bundle.
That's right.
So if you are interested in getting some of the other games in that bundle, get it, and you'll get this too.
Yeah.
I
that's
of
on the
getting
Steam
it,
page.
I've thought of getting it, but the issue is I kind of have over everything that's in it already.
Yeah, I run into that with bundles all the time. But this game is great, y'all. It's really just, you can play it forever, and you could just play a little bit every day. You can play it for hours at a go. It's just something really special. And is it time to wrap up? Does anyone have anything else they want to add?
Well, for all those other people who are waiting for it to get out of early access, the price will just keep going up.
And you
Clock
say
is ticking.
you say you have at least 1 or 2 more years you're thinking of early access?
Yeah, 2 years at least. I mean, you look at Caves of Cud, look at Cogmind, and their presence on Steam. Yeah, it's going to be a while, but
Keeper RL.
It's going to be amazing.
It's
going to be amazing.
It's already amazing, dude. You already have one of the, if not the best space roguelike. I mean, I can only think of one other that's close. And there aren't a ton of like games like this. I mean, they're mostly fantasy. So
Sure.
So this is already, in my opinion, very special because it does so much. And folks, if you don't have it, you need to get it. Like either now or just get it. It's so cheap for what it gives you. It's so cheap and it's so easy to play. It's got like all the keys right here. You can just click this button, F1 or whichever, or this button, and it's got all the keys. It's so easy to play. The interface is just, I mean, it doesn't ask much of you, and it gives so much. It really. I mean, it's so easy to play because of the interface and whatnot. It's so easy to get into. I cannot recommend this game enough to y'all. Seriously, it is great. And if Bob, we're gonna have you on at least 1 or 2 more times as you go through early access and hit more milestones. Like I can't wait for the Starflight like communication screen where you could either be friendly, hostile, or obsequious. Is that the word? Obsequious?
Obsequious.
Is that the word? Obsequious? I think it is the word.
I'm sure you can. That could work in certain situations. Yep, that's one of my little sticky notes. It's on the wall. It's there.
That is the word. Am I remembering the word right? Obsequious? I think I am. I challenged my 12-year-old, 13-year-old self back in the day. So friends, do yourself a favor and get this game. It is terrific. And you can play it, as we were saying, like I'm an explorer, so I got to explore the planets. You can play it as a miner. You can play it as a trader. You can play it as a fighter. It's just whatever your flavor of space game, this can do it for you.
It's also worth mentioning that because there are so many ways to play and the various endings there are, or ways to win, they kind of lean into certain play styles more than others.
And am I remembering correctly that when you quote unquote win, you don't stop playing. You just keep going you can just keep going forever, basically. Like, am I remembering that correctly?
I don't think that's true anymore. That used to be true. But I think when I brought the game to Steam, I think now an end to the game is actually an end to the game.
Oh, okay.
But then you just roll another character.
Just roll another character. Yeah. That's fair.
There's also, like you said, you can play non-permadeath and just play forever, or at least as long as you feel like it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it just keeps making sectors. All right, friends, with that, we are going to wrap this up. Bob, again, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us. We love talking about this game. We love playing this game, and we cannot wait to see what more you bring, because there's just already so much here, and we can't wait to see what more you bring to this dang thing, because it's just already an astounding thing.
Well, I want to thank you all. Thank you for having me here. Thanks for everybody who showed up in the chat. Thanks for everybody that's always, helping, making suggestions, and keeping me going on this. Thank you.
Yeah, great chat today, y'all. Next week on the show, we're going to talk about games that gave us the feels. Whether it was terror or dread or sadness or whatever. Writing for games is hard. And it's rare when a game really hits us like a movie would hit us or like a book would hit us. And so we're going to talk about the games that made us feel a little something. So thanks so much for hanging out with us in the chat and watching and listening. And we'll see you next time. Have a great day, everybody.